John's in Simi Valley, California. What's on your mind tonight, John?
I don't think you guys would have the answer to this question, so I'm just posing it to the listeners. Basically, when it comes down to drug testing for employment, I figure, I live in a state where you have medical marijuana, and a lot of places are like, okay, well, can you pass a drug test? And a lot of people that might be on like prescription drugs, like for example, with the OxyContin or Adderall or whatever, and if they test positive for that, they could say to their, I have a prescription for that. But if you have a medical marijuana prescription and you test positive for marijuana, I don't know if employers would consider that the same. I just kind of, I don't know. I think it's like a double standard if they didn't, and I don't know if anyone would know.
Wait. Okay, so you live in California and you don't know?
No. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it's a prescription. When you get a cannabis card out there, it's the equivalent of having a prescription for this thing. They just give you the card so that you can prove that you have a prescription to the police should they stop you. This is my understanding. I don't live in California, but I know people who do. I'm sorry?
Well, that's for police, but I'm talking about for employment. And, employers might see it differently,
They might. They're certainly under no obligation probably to employ people who are using substances that they don't agree with. But ultimately, I would think that many employers in California are totally fine with medical cannabis users. This is this is old news out there.
Yeah, that's been around a long time.
I figured. I just was like, you know what? I just went like cold turkey as of the first. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go straight. I'm not going to have to go through having to get one of those like detox things from one of the head shops or anything. But I'm just thinking, but it would seem to be like a pretty big double standard if they would be like, oh, it's okay for you to be on OxyContin, but not, smoking some.
What you're saying is if you don't really know, you haven't even heard any stories about this happening, right? You're just totally speculating.
I'm just totally speculating. That's what I'm calling, Steve. If any listeners or anybody else would have any say-so on that.
Well, certainly anybody else is welcome to call in with actual experience, but it's my understanding that, in California, this is nothing new. We're talking about a law now that's nearly 2 decades old. It was 1996 when Proposition 215, I believe it was passed in California. So companies out there have had a long time to get used to this, and I thank you for the call tonight. There are plenty of people in California who have these medical cards. They're so common that the police don't even bother people anymore, from what I understand.
I have headaches. My back hurts.
They don't even bother you. You walk down the street smoking a joint. This is what I'm told, by a guy who was living there, that they just don't care. Why bother anymore?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.